Today is Library Day. Yay! Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed our story from last week and learned about how to be a better friend and classmates with each other, even when we're online. I want to talk a minute about that book, We Don't Eat Our Classmates. So, this was about a little girl, T-Rex, that went to school and didn't have really a good experience or a good uh, first day, and she had a hard time making friends. Eventually, she learned and figured it out and made some friends by the end of the story. My question today is this story about a real kindergartner starting school on the first day? Are there T-Rexes that go to kindergarten? Well, the answer is no. T-Rexes don't even live anymore. They did a long, long time ago, but T-Rexes aren't walking around. They don't exist anymore. And if they did, they wouldn't be going to kindergarten or any other school for that matter. So, this story is what I would say is not real. It's a story that's made up. And I know it's not real because I know that dinosaurs don't exist anymore. And like I said, if they did, they wouldn't go to school. And we don't have dinosaurs that go to school. So I know that this is a book that is not real. It's not about real dinosaurs. It's not about a real kindergarten class. It's made up. I also can tell because it's a drawing of a dinosaur. Now, if this was a dinosaur, a book about real dinosaurs that used to exist, there would be a picture of maybe the bones of a dinosaur, and the book would be filled with facts. They looked like this, they were this tall, they ate this. But this book is just a story about a little T-Rex who started school. It's completely made up. That kind of book is called a fiction book. And a fiction book has different parts to it. A fiction book or story has characters in it. Now, the characters are the people or the animals in the story. Who is talking? Who is the story about? Who is solving the problems? The people or the animals in the story. Those are the characters. Now, the main character is the person or animal that is in the whole book, pretty much who the whole book is about. So if I said who was the main character in We Don't Eat Our Classmates, that would be Penelope, because the story is about her, and she is throughout the whole book. She is our main character. So if I asked you about Penelope, if I asked you who was the main character, you would say Penelope. You could tell me a little bit about her. Penelope wants to make friends. Penelope likes to eat tuna fish sandwiches. Penelope likes to play on the playground. So I'm describing my character a little bit, my main character. You can tell a little bit about what they're about because you read the story. Now, I have a story I want to share with you today. It is a fiction story, so it's not real. It's about another character that loves school and who also has a problem at school. Now, this story is called Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. This is also a fiction story. That means that it does not happen in real life. Now, Lily is the character, the main character. You see her right there. She is a mouse. And we know that mice don't dress up. They don't go to school. They don't wear purple plastic purses. So I know that this story is a made-up story because I can see that the character is a made-up character. It also has a beginning, and it has a middle, and it has an end. So that's also something that a fiction story would have. So today we're going to really be focusing on the main character of this book, which is Lily. And I want you to be listening for who Lily is. What does Lily like? What kind of mouse is Lily? So as I read the story, I want you to be thinking about Lily and how could we describe her by the end of the book? So this is called Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. The author, that's the person who writes the words, is Kevin Hinks. He's also the illustrator, so he's the person who draws the pictures, who drew Lily. So let's take a listen to Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. Lily loved school. She loved the pointy pencils, she loved the squeaky chalk, and she loved the way her boots went clickety-clickety-click down the long, shiny hallways. Lily loved the privacy of her very own desk. She loved the fish sticks and chocolate milk every Friday for lunch, and most of all, she loved her teacher, Mr. Slinger. Now, Mr. Slinger was as sharp as a tack. He wore artistic shirts, he wore glasses on a chain around his neck, and he wore a different colored tie each day of the week. Wow, Lily would say. That was just about all she could say was, wow. Instead of greetings, students, or good morning, everyone, Mr. Slinger would wink and say, howdy. He thought that desks and rows were old-fashioned and boring. Do you think that you could handle a semicircle, students? And he always provided the most tasty snacks, things that were curly and crunchy and cheesy. I want to be a teacher when I grow up, said Lily. Me too, said her friends, Chester, Wilson, and Victor. At home, Lily pretended to be Mr. Slinger. I am the teacher, she told her baby brother Julius. Listen up. Lily even wanted her own set of deluxe picture encyclopedias. What's with Lily? Asked her mother. I thought she wanted to be a surgeon or an ambulance driver or a diva, said her father. It must be because of her new teacher, Mr. Slinger, said her mother. Wow, said her father. And that was just about all he could say was wow. Whenever the students had free time, they were allowed to go to the light bulb lab in the back of the room. They expressed their ideas creatively through drawing and writing, and Lily went there often. She had a lot of ideas. She drew a picture of Mr. Slinger and wrote a story about him, too. During sharing time, Lily showed her creation to the entire class. Wow, said Mr. Slinger. And that was about all he could say was wow. When Mr. Slinger had bus duty, Lily stood in line even though she didn't ride the bus. Lily raised her hand more than anyone else in class, even when she didn't know the answer. And she volunteered to stay after school to clean erasers. I want to be a teacher when I grow up, said Lily. Excellent choice, said Mr. Slinger. On Monday morning, Lily came to school especially happy. She had gone shopping with her granny over the weekend. Lily had a new pair of movie star glasses, complete with a glittery diamonds and a chain like Mr. Slinger's. She had 3 shiny quarters, and best of all, she had a brand new purple plastic purse that played a jaunty tune when she opened the purse. Lily wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Listen to our story. But Lily had a hard time listening. Lily really wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Let's be considerate of our classmates. But Lily had a hard time being considerate. Lily really wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Wait until sharing time. But Lily just could not wait. The glasses were just too glittery. The quarters were so shiny, and the purse played such nice music, not to mention how excellent it was for storing school supplies. Look, Lily whispered fiercely. Look, everyone, look what I've got. Everybody looked, including Mr. Slinger, and he was not amused Amused means happy. He was not happy. She interrupted him. I will keep these things at my desk and until the end of the day, said Mr. Slinger. Then they'll be safe there, and then you can get them and take them home. Well, Lily's stomach lurched. She felt like crying. Her glasses were gone. Her quarters were gone. Her purple plastic purse was gone. Lily longed for her purse, and all morning she was even too sad to eat the snack Mr. Slinger served before recess. That afternoon, Lily went to the lightning lab. She was still very sad. She thought and she thought and she thought, and then she became angry. She thought and she thought and she thought some more, and then she became furious. What do you think furious means? And then she thought and she thought and she thought a bit longer, and then she drew a picture of Mr. Slinger. Are you ready to see what it looks like? This is what she drew. Big, fat, mean Mr. Stealing Teacher. Wanted by the FBI. P.S. I do not want to be a teacher when I grow up. Ooh, Lily was so mad that Mr. Slinger took her things away, she drew a not nice picture of him. Right before the bell rang, Lily sneaked the drawing and she put it in Mr. Slinger's bag and went home. When all the students were buttoned up, zipped, and snapped, and tied and ready to go home, Mr. Slinger strolled over to Lily and gave her back her purple plastic purse. It is a beautiful purse, Lily, he said, and your quarters are so nice and jingly, and those glasses, they're absolutely fabulous. You may bring them back to school as long as you don't disturb the rest of the class. I don't want to be a teacher when I grow up, Lily said as she marched out of the classroom. On the way home, Lily opened her purse. Her glasses and quarters were inside, and so was a note from Mr. Slinger. The note said, "Today was a difficult day. Tomorrow will be better." And there was also a small bag of tasty snacks at the bottom of her purse. Well, Lily's stomach lurched. She felt like crying. She felt simply awful. Lily ran all the way home and told her mother and father everything. Instead of watching her favorite cartoons, Lily decided to put herself in the timeout chair. I'll stay here for 1,000,000 years for Mr. Slinger. She thought and she thought and she thought. She felt so bad she had written that mean letter and picture and gave it to him. Well, that night Lily drew a nice new picture of Mr. Slinger, and she wrote a story about him too. Lily was very, very, really sorry, so everyone forgave her, even her parents and her stinky baby brother, and especially her incredible teacher. And then the sun shined its smiley face down on everyone and everything, and even the bugs and the worms. The end. And then she drew a new picture of Mr. Slinger. A nice picture. And she said, "Listen up, I forgive everyone," she said. Lily's mother wrote a note, and Lily's father baked some tasty snacks for Lily to take to school the next day. "I think Mr. Slinger will understand," said Lily's mother. "I know he will," said her father. Well, the next morning, Lily got to school early. "These are for you," she said to Mr. Slinger, "because I'm really, 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 really very sorry." And she handed him the note and the tasty snacks. Mr. Slinger read the story. He looked at Lily's picture. He read the note, and he sampled the snacks. Wow, said Mr. Slinger, and that was just about all he could say was wow. What do you think we should do with this? He held up the mean picture. We could just throw that away, said Lily. That's an excellent idea, said Mr. Slinger. Now, during sharing time, Lily demonstrated the many uses and unique qualities of her purple plastic purse, her shiny quarters, and her glittery movie star glasses. This time she waited till sharing time. Then she did a little performance using her props. This is called interpretive dance, said Lily, and Mr. Slinger joined in. Wow, said the entire class, and that was just about all they could say was wow. Throughout the rest of the day, Lily's purse and quarters and sunglasses were tucked safely inside of her desk. She would pick at them often, but she did not take them out to disturb others. Right before the last bell rang, Mr. Slinger served Lily's snacks to everyone's delight. What do you think you want to be when you grow up? Said Mr. Slinger. A teacher, everyone responded. Lily's response was the loudest. Excellent choice, said Mr. Slinger. As everyone left the classroom, Lily held her purple plastic purse close to her heart, and Mr. Slinger was right. It had been a better day. Lily ran and skipped and hopped all the way home. She was so happy, and she really did want to be a teacher when she grew up. That is, when she didn't want to be a dancer, or a surgeon, or an ambulance driver, or a diva, or a pilot, or a hairdresser, or a scuba diver. She couldn't make up her mind. And that is Lily's purple plastic purse. So Lily was quite a character, our main character. So what I want you to do is I want you to draw a picture of our main character, which is Lily. Here I drew a picture of Lily and her purple plastic purse. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to write about Lily. What does your character love to do? Our main character is Lily, so I want you to write down 2 things that Lily loves to do. And you can draw a picture of Lily doing one of the things that she loves to do. Now, one thing I can mention is she loves school. But Lily likes a lot of things. So I want you to think back in the story and write about 2 things that Lily loves to do. And you can draw a picture of Lily doing one of the things that she loves to do, our main character. So when you get finished, if you can, post a picture of Lily and 2 things that she loves to do. I hope you have enjoyed our story, and I can't wait to see your pictures. You guys are the best. You're doing such a great job, and I really appreciate it. So I'm excited to see your pictures of our main character, Lily, today. And I hope, like I said, I hope you enjoy your story. And I will see you guys again next week. Bye.